And welcome to your first day of distance learning. Boys, you can look right there at the camera. Can you guys wave? Drakey, can you wave to today's students? Well, guys, I thought since you're going to be distance learning from your house, I'd show you a little bit about my house. And my wife's not on camera right now. She's busy doing some things. But I thought I would introduce you to my two favorite little guys. This is Hunter. Hunter, tell everybody how old you are.
6.
6, and what grade are you in?
6. Kindergarten.
Yep, he's in kindergarten, so you're distance learning tomorrow too, right?
Yeah.
Are you pretty excited to do that?
Yeah.
Alright, you're going to work hard, right?
Yeah.
And Drakey, can you tell everybody how old you are? Can you say you're 2? 2. Can you show on your fingers that you're 2? 2? Yeah, that's pretty close, big guy. We'll get you some math classes when you get older. Make sure you know that.
Oh.
So guys, I figured I'd just show you my little guys real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get going on today's lesson, which is going to be your Unit 4 I Know sheet. We'll go ahead and go over that. Any last words from you two little dudes? You want to say hi to Daddy's students?
Hi.
Tell them to do their work?
Hi.
Drake, can you tell them to do your work?
Good luck.
Say good luck on your test tomorrow. Yep, good luck on your test. Can you tell them good luck on your test?
Good luck on your test.
Alright, guys. You want to take your little brother with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye, boys. Have a good night, okay? Alright, guys. I'll get going with everybody else now on some social studies stuff as I head downstairs while these little guys, as they get ready to go to night-night. Bye, boys. Alright, can you take your brother?
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. These little guys like to follow me wherever I go. You can tell they're a little bit upset that they don't get to quite be involved. But for you guys, I appreciate you starting your distance learning journey with me. I know this is going to be a little bit different, but I wanted to try to just do as much like I would normally in class. And so I thought I'd go over some stuff with you. You can see my diaper cave behind me. This is what happens when you've got a 2-year-old. And you know, so I've got all sorts of storage down here. So about your test tomorrow, on to social studies stuff. Your test is going to be worth 35 points. It's going to be 34 questions. A lot of them are multiple choice, but there's also some true-false. There's some short answer. There's one essay question, I think, asking for 2 sentences. And then there's also a small little matching portion as well. So if you haven't already, grab your I Know sheet from Google Classroom. If you're looking on Google Classroom, you're going to scroll down just a little bit in order to find it, depending what hour you're in. You should be able to scroll down here and see the Unit 4 I Know sheet. Again, I know we took a lot of notes this unit, but there's your Unit 4 right there, so make sure you're grabbing that. The test tomorrow, just so everybody's aware, is going to be 100% open notes. So I don't want anybody freaking out thinking, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this, or it's going to be too much. You may use any and all of your notes on this and hoping to prepare you guys as best I can. So without further ado, we're going to get into the I Know sheet, and I'll discuss some of these things with you in further depth. So obviously, we've been talking a lot about the Constitution. When we're talking about the legislative branch, I'm really looking for what each branch does with laws. So remember, our legislative branch at the national level makes laws. That's our Congress. That's our House of Representatives. You remember the plus sign, the Senate, the equal sign, and that makes up Article 1 of the Constitution. So that's what the legislative branch is all about. The executive branch, their job is to enforce laws. Article 2 of the Constitution, and specifically we're talking about the President of the United States. And at our state level, really, that's also the job of a governor. The judicial branch interprets the laws, which is Article number 3 in the Constitution, and that's headed up by our United States Supreme Court. Some different names that you've seen and heard throughout this unit. I'd love for you guys to be familiar with some of these names because, you know, they are who represent us in our government. Of course, President Trump is the current president of the United States. Of course, Joe Biden is president-elect and is scheduled to take over on January 20th, 2021. Mike Pence, of course, the current Vice President of the United States. I'm not sure why these say Democrat there. That's definitely a typo, something I haven't corrected evidently since the Obama administration. You can tell my notes here are a little bit old. But Mike Pence is going to be the current Vice President of the United States, with Kamala Harris set to take over in January of 2021. John Moolenaar is our area of Michigan, the 4th Congressional District House of Representatives member, and he, like Pence and Trump, is also a Republican. Our 2 senators from the state of Michigan are both Democrats, Gary Peters and Debbie Stabenow. And then John Roberts is the name I told you to make sure you knew for the judicial branch, because John Roberts is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, meaning he is the top-ranking judicial branch member in our government. When we're talking about checks and balances, remember, this is where each branch of the government checks up on one another to make sure that each branch is doing its job. So it's really just a way that they police one another and make sure that no one person or no one group has all the power. Obviously, that would be a lot like Great Britain, and as we've talked about already this year, not happening. We don't want anything to do with that. So, separation of powers kind of ties in perfectly there with the checks and balances system. And again, as you guys are going through this, feel free to take your own notes, because again, this is going to be 100% open note for everybody. So, definitely in your best interest on your test tomorrow to have all this I know sheet filled out. So the separation of powers is where we divide the power among the 3 branches to make sure that nobody has too much. And again, it's that philosophy of not wanting to have a king or a queen or just one person holding a ton of power. The Electoral College, of course, is something we saw play out in the month of November 2020. This is how we elect our president in our country. Remember, it's 538 total electoral votes, and you need a majority of those electoral votes, which is 270, to become president of the United States. Remember, we get that number, 538, from the total number of the House of Representatives, which is 435, total number of senators, 100, and then we add in 3 for Washington, D.C., because residents of D.C. do get to vote for president. Remember that a candidate can lose the popular election or popular vote, meaning that they actually gain their competitor in total votes, but can still lose the election. It happened most recently in 2016. Hillary Clinton actually got more votes than President Trump, but yet Trump won the election because he won the Electoral College with over 270 electoral votes. And so that's happened various times throughout our nation's history. Remember, California has the most electoral votes with 55. We in Michigan have 16. And as we discuss this unit, that can change with the census. If a population goes up, you get more electoral votes for that state. If a population goes down, less electoral votes from that state. If you love seeing this Finding Nemo swim diaper behind me, yeah, I'm not going to have that in my classroom. So that's a one-time thing you're going to see. The Supreme Court has 9 total Supreme Court justices. There are Supreme Courts at lower levels as well in the United States, and of course their job is to interpret the laws. We discussed how once they are appointed, Supreme Court justices can serve for their entire life span, and there's no age requirement. Of course, to be a member of the House of Representatives, you need to be 25. The Senate, you need to be 30, and President of the United States, you must be at least 35. Big topic that we've discussed this unit is just how the House and the Senate work together to form our Congress. House of Representatives, remember, plus sign based on population. The more people for your state, the more House members they have. Senate, of course, based on equality. Every single state, no matter their size, gets 1, 2 United States senators. Again, 435 members of the House, determined again by that population. And again, that can change with the census. And House members serve only 2 years. So most recently, we elected John Moolenaar. 2 years from now, he will be up for re-election again. United States Senate, we have 100 total United States senators, 50 states, 2 from each state. The leader of the Senate, of course, is the Vice President of the United States. That individual breaks ties in the Senate, and they serve 6-year terms that are not all up at the same time. So if you remember from our notes, we discussed every 2 years, another third of the U.S. Senate, 33 or 34 seats, are up for grabs. A few vocabulary terms for you here that you've heard throughout the unit. Remember, a veto is when a president rejects a proposed law called a bill. Now remember, even with a presidential veto, things can still pass, it just becomes much more difficult. Impeach is the act of officially removing or trying to remove a political figure from office. In President Trump's time as president in January of 2020, that was one thing that he went through, is he went through the impeachment process with the House of Representatives. However, he was not found guilty in the Senate, and therefore he continued to be president of the United States. Census, remember, is the official count of the population. We do that in the United States every 10 years. We most recently did it this year in 2020, and we will do it again in 2030. And again, we use that information to determine how many people are going to be in the House of Representatives for each state, the type of funding that each state receives in each area of the country based on their needs in terms of population. Again, to be a House member, you must be 25, live in the United States for 7 years, live in the state you represent, and of course you're serving a 2-year term. Senators, 30 years of age, living in the United States for at least 9 years, living in the state you represent, and serving 6-year terms. If I'm going too fast for you guys through this, feel free to hit the pause button. Don't want to make you rush, but make sure that you're able to get all this stuff down. Again, if you already have some of this stuff down, don't worry about rewriting it. I just want to prepare you guys as best I can for your test coming tomorrow. President of the United States, of course, you must be 35 years old. You must be a natural-born United States citizen and live in the United States for at least 14 years. And of course, that's chosen by the Electoral College based on our presidential election. And of course, the president is the head of the executive branch. 3 last concepts for you, just to make sure you guys are understanding this stuff. Limited government is what we have in the United States, where the government cannot control every single aspect of our life. Recently we've had people come out and say that maybe we're getting away from that. Maybe we're giving the government too much power. But still, throughout the United States, people do have the ability to make some of their own decisions, and the government, can't tell you everything on what to do. State versus federal powers. Some powers are reserved exclusively to the national government. Some are reserved exclusively to the states, and then some are what we called shared powers. So some rights that are reserved to just states are driver's licenses, marriage licenses, things of that nature. Some rights are reserved to just the national government, like the ability to declare war, the ability to create money, and then some powers are shared, which unfortunately for us in Michigan means that I can get taxed not only because I'm a United States citizen, but because I live in Michigan and also because I live in Stanton. So I get taxed at the local, the state, and the national level. Didn't we fight a war about taxes being too high? Yeah, we did. And I still have to pay 3 different types of taxes, not including sales tax every time I go to Meijer or Walmart. Federalism. Last little vocab term for you here. Federalism means that powers are shared between the national and the state governments. And again, that's just an example of how our national government works. You see the national and the state governments working hand in hand to make important decisions. I hope you guys have had a really good first day of distance learning. I'm super proud of you for actually getting online and doing this stuff with your notes. That's all I have for you for today, but if you have questions, I'm going to try to make myself available on Zoom. You can click on the Zoom link at any time, ask me any questions. Again, your test is going to be 35 points, 34 questions, multiple choice, true, false. There's 1 matching, a short answer, and 1 2-sentence essay question as well. So do the best that you can to prepare. Let me know if you have questions. Feel free to email me. My email address, I'm going to try to put it in the description to this video, but right there it is for you if you need it. And my number at school, if you want to call me directly and ask questions there, you can feel free to do that as well. So lots of different places to find information, and I'd be happy to help you in any way I can as you get prepared for your test. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see more of you next time, probably from school and without diapers in the background. See you guys.